The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a completely new obsession.
Oh, absolutely.
Picture this, right? It is July 3, 2026. You're standing right outside Madison Square Garden in the dead center of New York City. The summer heat is literally just radiating off the pavement.
It sounds miserable, honestly.
Right. But there are steel barricades everywhere. I mean, thousands of fans are lining the avenues, holding up handmade signs, straining just to see past these massive black SUVs, pulling into white privacy tents.
Total chaos.
Absolute deafening chaos. The flashing lights of NYPD cruisers are reflecting off all the glass skyscrapers. But then you step inside the arena.
And it all changes.
Exactly. The heavy doors close, and suddenly the roar of the city just entirely vanishes. You're standing in this meticulously crafted, peach-draped garden.
It's quiet.
Yeah, it's intimate. The space that usually hosts, like, sports championships and deafening mega concerts has been totally transformed.
What was Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding really like, according to Adam Scott? That is what we are figuring out today. I am so ready for this.
Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today, we are unpacking a multi-million-dollar masterclass in modern fame. We're doing a deep dive into an event that was highly guarded, secured by ironclad NDAs, yet somehow managed to feel surprisingly intimate for the people inside.
It's honestly fascinating. We've got a huge stack of source material today too, right?
Yeah, deeply reported pieces from Variety, the New York Times, Forbes, People magazine, and, comprehensive updates from Wikipedia. Because we wanted to distill all the key takeaways for you.
And to you listening, even if you, couldn't care less about pop culture, this deep dive is a crazy case study in how hyper-famous individuals manage to curate authenticity.
Yes, and privacy, while executing a multi-million-dollar spectacle. Before we can look at the emotional core of this wedding, we have to look at the concrete and the steel.
The logistics.
Right. We have to understand the sheer, jaw-dropping scale of what it took to pull this off.
Well, because if you look at the mechanics, the logistics of this event are, they're much closer to a military operation or like a G7 summit than a traditional wedding.
Totally. Let's talk about the venue choice.
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, the mecca of all sports venues. Travis Kelce actually gave an interview where he said getting married there was living out his, quote, childhood dream.
Which is a very sweet sentiment, obviously. But functionally, renting out an entire 20,000-seat arena in Midtown Manhattan isn't just about, paying a venue fee.
No, not at all. You are actively disrupting the infrastructure of one of the busiest cities on the planet.
Literally.
The sheer manpower required to neutralize an arena is staggering. You have to sweep it for bugs, secure loading docks, vet thousands of stadium employees.
Just the background checks alone.
Exactly. And establish these massive secure perimeters.
And the price tag reflects that. Estimates for the total cost of this wedding range from $10 million to a whopping $50 million.
$50 million.
Just let that sink in for a second.
Yeah.
And to make it happen, they hired Mark Seed, an ultra-secretive Los Angeles-based event planner.
Oh, yeah. He is known in billionaire circles for absolute unbreachable discretion.
Discretion that costs a major premium. Just to give you an idea of the municipal footprint here, the couple paid New York City over $160,000 just for a special event permit for the wedding weekend.
But that's not just, a piece of paper. That money covered comprehensive street closures, rerouting city buses, sanitation teams.
And massive amounts of NYPD overtime to manage the crowds outside. They didn't just rent a room, they essentially bought a piece of the city grid for 48 hours.
Right.
Imagine organizing the Super Bowl halftime show, but instead of projecting all that energy outward to 1 billion viewers, your goal is to trap it.
Trap it inside.
Yeah, you're using all that heavy scaffolding, the lighting rigs, the sound design to project inward, tricking 1,000 people into feeling like they're just sitting in your backyard having a barbecue.
It's the ultimate paradox of modern mega fame, right? You have to build a literal fortress just to have a normal human moment.
And it felt like the universe itself wanted to be part of the production design, honestly. At exactly 7:22 p.m., the very moment they were pronounced husband and wife, these massive pink billboards outside MSG suddenly lit up.
Oh, the billboards.
Reading, Justin T. married.
Okay.
And the second that happened, A sudden torrential rainstorm rolled in over Manhattan, bringing these intense winds, which then broke minutes later to reveal an actual vibrant rainbow over the city's skyline.
You literally cannot write that.
You can't. And if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead in this deep dive.
The environmental dramatics definitely added to the mythology of the day. But, the real magic trick wasn't the weather outside. It was how that colossal exterior scale contrasted with the interior experience.
Which brings us to a really fascinating question. How does a 1,000-person, $50 million arena wedding actually feel to the people sitting in the folding chairs?
Right, because you'd think it would feel cold.
Exactly. For that, we get a really unique perspective from actor Adam Scott. You probably know him from Parks and Recreation or Severance.
Love him.
He gave a very revealing interview on the Today Show a few weeks after the wedding.
And Adam Scott's perspective is invaluable here because, he occupies a very specific tier of fame.
How so?
He's famous enough to be invited into the room, but he's grounded enough to act as an audience surrogate for all of us. He plays normal, relatable guys, so we trust his lens on this wildly abnormal event.
So what did he say about the vibe of the room? According to Scott, his main takeaway was that despite the A-list crowd, where you're rubbing shoulders with literally billionaires and pop icons, it felt like a real, regular wedding.
A regular wedding.
Yeah. He said you genuinely had the sense that these were just two people coming together who really love each other.
Yeah.
And the kicker, he said almost everyone in the room teared up.
Which is wild. Think about the physics of event design required to achieve that.
What do you mean?
Well, when you have 1,000 people in a room, the energy usually just dissipates. It naturally turns into a convention or a gala. People get distracted, they talk.
Like,
to maintain an emotional focal point across a massive arena floor means the event planners had to manipulate the environment perfectly.
how do you even do that in an arena?
You use heavy acoustic baffling to kill the stadium echo so voices sound close and warm. You lower the lighting grid to create a faux intimate ceiling. You use specific floral scent diffusers to mask the smell of a concrete sports arena.
Oh, wow. The smell of the concrete. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. True luxury for people at this level of fame isn't just about buying expensive things. It is the ability to buy complete privacy and manufacture a feeling of normalcy out of thin air.
Normalcy that, sadly, you just can't share with everyone. Scott shared this hilarious, totally relatable dad dilemma on the Today Show.
Well, the dad points thing.
Yes. The host, Craig Melvin, asked him if he got major dad points for scoring an invite. Scott laughed and said he totally did, until his teenage Swiftie daughter, Frankie, realized she wasn't invited.
Oh, no.
He said he instantly went into the negative.
That's the harsh reality of a strictly curated guest list. The fortress only works if the walls are high.
But Frankie did stay up all night, waiting by the door for Adam and his wife, Naomi, to get home so she could extract every single piece of gossip.
Like any good fan would.
Right. And Scott's own public recap of the night was incredibly understated. He posted a simple Instagram photo with Paul Rudd and his wife, Julie Yeager, in their formal wear. And the caption was just a heart emoji, TNT, and another heart emoji.
That understatement is a vital mechanism of how these events stay private. Yes, the guests sign non-disclosure agreements, but beyond the legal threat, there is an implicit social contract.
Explain that a bit more.
When you are invited into the inner sanctum of an event like this, oversharing becomes a massive faux pas. The guests themselves become part of the protective barrier.
Because they want to stay in the circle.
Exactly. If you post a shaky iPhone video of the ceremony, you aren't just breaking a rule, you're proving you don't belong in the room.
Okay, so Adam Scott and country star Brad Paisley both came out saying the wedding felt unpretentious, normal, and grounded. But I have to push back on this.
Oh, here we go.
I was reading through the details of the ceremony and the reception and variety and people, and my jaw was on the floor.
You're not buying the unpretentious label.
Not for a single second. Let's look at the unconventional, wildly extravagant choices they actually made. Let's start with the rehearsal dinner on July 2nd.
Okay, lay it out.
They rented out the Infosys Theater for 100 guests, had it catered by ultra-high-end spots, Sarkianos, and Zero Bond, and they gave the guests diamond-encrusted keepsakes.
Yep.
I mean, come on, can we really call an event with diamond-encrusted party favors unpretentious?
Actually, yes. I'm going to push back on your pushback.
Wait, really?
Yeah. You're looking at the price tag, not the psychology. Pretension is about trying to appear as something you're not. It's about putting on a fake facade.
Okay.
For billionaires and cultural titans, diamonds and zero bond catering are their normal. If they had served cheap mints and served food on burlap to try and look folksy, that would be pretentious, because it would be a fake performance of middle-class relatability.
That is, wow. Okay, that's a fascinating way to frame it. Authenticity doesn't mean cheap.
Exactly. By owning their extreme wealth, it was actually authentic. What makes it unpretentious is where they place the emotional weight.
And they definitely placed that weight on family. They completely scrapped the traditional bridal party.
Which is so rare for big weddings.
Totally. No rows of bridesmaids in matching dresses or groomsmen in identical suits. Austin Swift, Taylor's brother, was the man of honor, and Jason Kelce was the best man.
Love that.
Jason and Kylie's kids served as flower girls, walking down a massive custom-built ramp.
And that choice is exactly what Adam Scott was feeling. By removing the sprawling Hollywood entourage at the altar and focusing solely on siblings and nieces, they visually centered the family.
It grounds the spectacle.
Right. It tells the room, this isn't an industry networking event. This is a family milestone.
Fair point. But then you look at who officiated. It wasn't a childhood pastor or a quiet family friend. It was Adam Sandler.
A brilliant choice, though, when you think about the emotional mechanics of the room.
How so?
Well, Adam Sandler brings a very specific energy. He's universally beloved. He's hilarious. But he also has a profound, grounding warmth to him. He deflates tension.
Oh, for sure.
In a room filled with 1,000 highly powerful, tightly wound people, having Adam Sandler in a suit at the microphone immediately signals to everyone, take a breath, we are not taking ourselves too seriously today.
Well, they definitely took the vows seriously. Guests reported that they read their vows from a golden book. And get this, the vows lasted 20 to 30 minutes each. Kelce went first and then Swift. That is an hour of just vows.
Now, think about the psychology of that. We live in an era of 15-second TikTok clips and fractured attention spans. Holding 1,000 people's attention for an hour of pure spoken word is almost impossible.
I can barely sit through a 5-minute toast.
Right. But you have to remember who we're talking about. Taylor Swift is fundamentally one of the most prolific songwriter and storytellers of her generation. Words are her primary medium.
And Travis Kelce hosts a wildly successful podcast. He's a charismatic broadcaster.
Exactly. For them, a brief "I do" wouldn't just be short. It would be completely out of character. The storytelling was the main event.
And apparently it worked. Joe Buck, the sports broadcaster, was there and said the vows were incredibly well-written, deeply funny, and profoundly emotional.
Which is high praise from a broadcaster.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And visually, they were wearing custom designs by Dior, Christian Louboutin, and Cartier. But wait till you hear what came next, because where this really tips from a heartfelt ceremony into a full-blown Eras tour-level fever dream is the reception.
Oh, the musical lineup for the reception wasn't just entertaining, it was genuinely historic.
Historic almost feels like an understatement. Let me just walk you through this lineup.
Please do.
You have Stevie Nicks, you have Tim McGraw, you have Avril Lavigne getting up there and singing Skate-Ater Boy.
Iconic.
And then Paul McCartney.
Unreal.
He performed I Want to Hold Your Hand. And reports indicate that is the first time he has performed that specific song live since September 1964.
I really want you to think about the cultural weight of that moment. You have the Beatle who helped define the monoculture of the 1960s, dusting off a 60-year-old anthem.
For those listening wondering what we mean by monoculture, it's that rare phenomenon where literally everyone in the country is experiencing the same cultural event at the exact same time, rather than being, fragmented into our own little customized digital algorithm.
Now, the Beatles were the absolute monoculture of the 60s.
That's nice.
And by performing that song there, it's almost like McCartney was passing the baton. Because the NFL and Taylor Swift are arguably the only true monoculture we have left today. It was a bridging of eras.
And just to keep things beautifully chaotic, mixed in with Paul McCartney in a sweet duet performed by the bride and groom themselves, there was a speech by Lena Dunham.
Yes?
The Daily Mail reported it was highly dramatic and completely NSFW, apparently describing American football as, quote, straight guys reenacting gay porn.
Which brings that Adam Sandler energy right back into the room.
Exactly.
It's a masterful mix of high culture, historic musical significance, and completely irreverent, unfiltered roasting. It keeps the event from feeling sterile.
When you put it all together like that, when Adam Scott says it felt like a regular wedding, I really have to laugh. I mean, it's a regular wedding if your wedding singer is Paul McCartney and your venue is Madison Square Garden.
It's regular in its emotional resonance, not its execution.
Exactly. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next, because we need to transition for a second.
Let's do it.
When you have Paul McCartney and Adam Sandler performing in an arena ringed by NYPD riot barricades, you are no longer just throwing a party. You are executing a civic event.
You really are.
And when private citizens command public resources on that scale, the outside world is going to react. Every action has an equal and opposite cultural ripple.
It absolutely does. The media frenzy was totally unprecedented. Publications like the New York Times and Forbes didn't just report on it, they analyzed it from a sociological angle.
Calling it the American royal wedding.
Right, and the wedding of the decade, or even the century.
And the economic impact is wild. The Knot, which is a major wedding planning platform, actually coined a term for it, the Swiftication of weddings.
The Swiftication.
They estimated that this single event will provide a $1.8 billion boost to the U.S. wedding industry over the next 2 years.
It's a massive sociological shift. People don't just want the peach drapes or the golden vow books. They want the vibe.
The intimacy.
Yeah. You're going to see couples trying to replicate the hour-long storytelling vows, or maybe even implementing strict phone bans and NDAs for their own 100-person weddings just to capture a slice of that exclusivity.
But with that level of cultural and economic dominance comes the inevitable backlash. It's important we look at that too, to impartially convey all the viewpoints from our sources.
Of course.
There was heavy criticism from some corners of the internet. Political commentator and influencer Hassan Piker was highly critical of the event.
What did he say?
He called it a dramatic misuse of public resources and framed it as a glaring symbol of luxury excess.
Which is a critique that naturally arises when you privatize public space.
Think about the street you live on, right? Imagine a celebrity paying your city to shut it down for 48 hours so you can't park your car, just so they can throw a private party.
It's frustrating.
That's the root of Piker's critique. It sparks a philosophical debate about wealth inequality. Should anyone, no matter how famous, be able to commandeer municipal resources, require police overtime, and gridlock a city for a personal milestone?
It's a completely valid debate about the boundaries of wealth and the public domain. Though, to their credit, the couple seemed highly aware of this optic.
They did. To add some context, they engaged in some massive preemptive philanthropy.
What do they do?
Before the wedding even took place, Swift and Kelce reportedly donated $26 million to various charities.
Wow.
And their fans, mobilizing the way Swifties always do, were inspired by the event to raise over $17,000 for a kids' nonprofit in honor of the wedding.
It's a balancing act. They understand their massive footprint. But if we synthesize all of this, the economics, the logistics, the vows, the backlash, what does this event actually symbolize at its core?
Right.
It is the ultimate collision of America's two biggest remaining monocultures.
Yeah.
Pop music and professional football.
We live in such a highly fragmented media landscape right now. We don't all watch the same TV shows or listen to the same music anymore.
But the NFL and Taylor Swift are the two entities that can still reliably capture the attention of the entire country at once.
Oh, true.
By joining these two forces, the wedding wasn't just a marriage of two people, it felt like a merger of cultural empires.
A merger of empires that somehow ended with an entire arena of billionaires and celebrities crying during 30-minute vows. It's just an incredible duality.
It really is.
You have a 1,000-person, highly guarded Madison Square Garden spectacle that cost tens of millions of dollars, yet it successfully functioned as a tear-jerking, heartfelt declaration of love for those lucky enough to be inside.
It proves that with enough resources, a brilliant planner, and an airtight social contract, the monumental can actually be engineered to feel intimate.
It really shows the value of digging past the headlines, doesn't it? You get past the flashy Justin T. married billboards and find the Adam Scott perspective, the human element operating quietly inside this massive machine.
Definitely.
But honestly, unpacking all of this leaves me thinking about something much bigger for everyone listening.
Oh yeah, where does your mind go?
Well, think about your own life for a second. If this event represents the absolute peak of the modern privacy as a luxury trend, where you literally have to rent out a 20,000-seat arena and hire the NYPD just to keep the public out, what does that mean for the rest of us?
That is a great question.
How will everyday people who already overshare their lives online for free every single day begin to redefine and protect their own private, intimate milestones in the future? Do we have to buy our privacy back?
A fascinating and slightly terrifying question to end on.
Something for you to mull over the next time you draft a life update for your social media feed. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood music and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories to keep the stars shining.